All right, welcome everybody. It's another great week here with our Wealth Factory team and our webinars that we've got going on. We are really excited to be bringing Pete Rakozy back with Exit Loop, and it's going to be a great conversation here this afternoon. So Pete is just again for background information. I know he was here just a couple weeks ago. You guys probably know Pete, but for those that are new, Pete is a strategist, builder, and integrator known for turning chaos into clarity. As the director of the Catalyst team at Wealth Factory, he worked with us for a while. He now is driving the intersection of AI, automation, operations, scalability, ensuring seamless collaboration across departments. So now Pete is moved on to ExitLoop.ai. And so he is the partner there building out this new program. And we're really excited for Pete to be able to help us with that. His expertise is AI and automation, just implementing cutting edge AI solutions to streamline operations and enhance productivity. So we're going to be talking about a few things there when it comes to AI and automation. So Pete, anything else you want to add before we kind of jump in and get started?
Let's get started.
All right, perfect. Well, again, just for everybody too, we can get you scheduled with Pete. Make sure you've got your next coaching call scheduled. Pete can also share his information in the chat as well. If you have questions that pop up, use that chat, that question and answer section. We'll be watching and monitoring those as well as we're going through. But like I said, we're super excited. There's a lot of great information that Pete always has for us. And so just to begin, and Pete, I know you've got a PowerPoint, so we're going to kind of play into that PowerPoint. You're going to be able to share some stuff with us here. But one of the things for us is just really in regards to talking about AI. So it's no longer a future idea; it's a current idea. It's a thing that's happening now, and we really need to kind of jump on board. But what are some of the ideas, future ideas, but as a tool that you can use that literally pays for itself? And I know the title of this was how we can use these tools to pay for themselves before lunch. So can you just break that down for me as far as like, what are some tools that we can really start to strategize and use that are going to be beneficial and pay for themselves in the long run and just make our lives better?
Yeah. So when it comes to AI tools, um, if there are lots of complicated and convoluted systems out there that people will build and promote, and I'm sure if you spend any time on Instagram or YouTube, you'll see those from time to time where it's like, I built this AI swarm, or I built this thing that will grow your business $2 million without your input at all, right? All these types of things. And they're all flashy, fancy, but they never have any outputs or details to back up the claims of what's been built. And you don't really need anything stupid complex, right? Business doesn't need to be that complex. In fact, simple systems are what scale. And so today there's three really core systems that we found that every business, regardless of industry or size, really can put into play, and it'll help them do the things that all businesses complain about, right? Which is I need more reviews, I need more leads, and I need more appointments, right? Like all those core things. And a lot of that stuff you can automate. And so that's what I'm going to go over today, which is what are the fundamental workflows that you can do, some case studies that I've pulled together showing the proof and results of these workflows so that you can be like, oh, this isn't just another pie in the sky AI dream, right? It's real. And then what the step-by-step workflows actually look like. And then if we have time, I can actually go through and do some build it with me sessions at the end where I can say, here's how you do it, here's how you build it. And I'll show it in one tool because that's probably all we have time for, but there's many, many, many tools we can use to do this. So
Excellent.
um, cool. You want me to just,
Sweet. Well, yeah, I mean, with that, like you had mentioned AI reviews, I know that's a big thing, a big topic for a lot of our clients. Really any business, it's the biggest thing. So just kind of start with that. Like most businesses are begging for them, we're barely getting any. So what's different about your AI review engine, and what that looks like and how that works, just so people can kind of get an idea of again why I need to be talking to Pete as well over at Exit Loop. So this could be a great one to get us started.
yeah. So um, getting reviews is great, right? The main reason businesses need reviews is one, it helps you get found easier, right? We all know Google reviews impact your local map listings. And so the more reviews you have, the higher up you show up in that three pack, that map pack, right? And since most businesses deal with their local community, that's important. Two, it helps you get picked faster, right? Most people, we've been trained to shortcut our selection process based off of star rating, um, number of reviews, and then we usually skim the first couple of reviews, right, to see if there's any
Mhm.
red flags, right? Some of us that are a little more, I guess, adventurous will dive into like the 3-star reviews or 1-star reviews and see what's going on there. But in short, most people, like when they're looking for a place to eat or they're looking for a business to contact or things like that, it's all right, 4.9, 300 views. Heck yes, I'm going to go with you. And that's also a funny thing. Like most people will trust 4.9 over 5 because 5 is too good to be true, right? If we
Yes.
have 100% 5-star reviews. And then if you do it the way we do it, you can actually get reviews from, or not reviews, you can get referrals from your reviews, right? So the process is we leverage AI to and automation to help send the review requests. So inside of our tool, you hit a button, add a tag, or move a stage, and then it automatically will send the review request. It asks for feedback onto a form, or it fills out like it asks for like a star rating, and then based off their star rating, if it's above 4 or 5, it will then redirect them to Google to leave a review, right? If it's below that, we ask for a feedback form. Say, hey, give us a chance to be able to fix this. But they also can always still go straight to Google. So that complies with policies. Once the reviews are collected, we then say, hey, thanks so much. We're so glad you had a great experience. We're doing a raffle for XYZ, and you get an entry for every single review or referral you send our way, right? So for gyms, this is excellent. It's like we'll give you a year of gym membership free, or a restaurant. It could be you get free fries for a year, whatever it is, like those types of things. Uh, and so they're able to then get new leads, and referral leads are the best leads, right? And then we go from there. And then those people come in, and then the other systems that we have capture those leads and follow up and nurture them and book appointments or close them and go from there. So and then if you do this right, like all this information is updated inside of a CRM, notes are applied, feedback is taken, all that. So it works really, really well that way. So yeah, in short, automated reviews using AI to respond to the reviews as well is another great thing. We build out 5 individual agents, one for each star rating. Each of them has their own personality, right? And all of them are trained out on a knowledge base about who and what your business is about, who you serve, what keywords are important to you, those types of things, right? And then for 4 and 5-star reviews, we've got 2 different agents that will respond enthusiastically. They'll slip in keywords. They'll build out a paragraph, and based off of the contact and notes information we have in the CRM, we'll actually personalize that review to that individual. For 3-star reviews and below, we've got other individuals that we've given personalities that are professional, respectful, don't admit fault, but go through the process of letting them know that we're going to handle this, have somebody reach out. And then those bots actually create tasks and do handoffs to your internal team. So they send notifications and things like that. So there's always a human then that can then call out and handle that conversation. Um, we would probably, like, if I were the person that had to handle that conversation, I would probably want an AI to do it because I don't want to be yelled at or but this is where the human touch, right, needs to be in business. And that human touch is where in those high pressure situations is where you're able to actually often turn negative reviews into lifetime customers. I've seen that time and time again, where there's just a misunderstanding or something was mixed up. And then because you went the extra mile to fix it, that person becomes one of your greatest advocates. So,
Yeah. And so I liked a lot of what you were saying there because when I initially came into Wealth Factory, that was a lot of what we were talking about was reviews here and what we can do, and the Google Workspace, just being able to have the replies, that's such a huge factor in the
yep.
numbers. And then the keywords, you said that too, which I was like, that's so awesome that you guys are factoring that in, because those keywords can help with the SEO searches, all of those other things. Like I learned a lot about Google searches that I had no idea about when I first started here. But it was great because I got to learn a lot of that process. And so, and like, those were all of the things people, when I were talking to them, they were like, make sure you have these things. And so hearing that that's what you guys are doing is just, it's so awesome to hear that, because you guys are thinking about all of those different skills. And I am the adventurous type. I like to read the 2 and 3 star reviews more so than the 4 or 5 star reviews or the 1 star reviews. Like 1 star review to me is like somebody just had a bad day. I get it.
Yep.
I've had those bad days. I've wanted to do that as well. Like a 5 star review, it's like, you're too full of it. You're on the fluff, but like a
Yep.
3 star review to me is like, those are good because like you get an honest feedback and opinion. And a lot of times it's like, I would give it a 4 or 5 if this, or this. So
Yep.
to me, it's like, okay, perfect. Now I understand why, you gave me some insights. And so that's awesome. So yeah, a little bit more just like on that. You had mentioned that. Do you have a case study or anything in regards to like a client,
Yeah.
something about how that actually worked for them, as far as being able to see those reviews and
Yeah.
increases?
So most people, like most businesses I've found, don't have a good review system in place. They don't have it automated, and because it's not automated, it doesn't happen, right?
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll do a review blitz. And so we'll take all of your old clients, take that list, we'll load it up into our software. We'll have the automations go to work, and they'll do outreach to all of those past clients to essentially get a bunch of reviews. And we had one client, Salt Lake Bride, of all of my clients. They actually got over 88 5-star reviews in 30 days just from doing that. And that like this is funny because we try to spread the reviews out. Like 88 in 1 month is like a lot of reviews, right? And
Yeah.
usually that throws up red flags. And it was my mistake. I'd actually set the drip out incorrectly, but everything worked out, and he actually ended up signing up 4 new clients from that, because people were like, "Oh yeah, you exist," right? Like, "Oh yeah,
Yes.
you're a business." Like that's the thing. Everybody thinks everybody's thinking about them, but that's the reality is nobody's thinking about your business ever, unless you are promoting, marketing, or doing outreach, things like that. And so because he did these review requests, he had people be like, "Oh yeah," and so he's able to sign up for people, um, for his services that he offers at his website. And so yeah, it was great. It was all automated, no staff, chasing stars, nothing like that. And he's a tiny team. I think he's a team of 2, right? That runs this directory website. And so it was huge for him to be able to get all those reviews and get more clients that he didn't have to pay anything for, right? And so
Right. And that's a huge win, not having to pay for leads, because sometimes leads to get a lead, sometimes it costs us almost as much as the lead brings in. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
always a win.
that's bad business. You don't want to break even.
So so yeah, well, anything else just on like the review side of things, that you want to mention, or can we jump into like another one that I like, that you guys do is like the website chats. And so before I jump into that, just anything else you wanted to add on to the review section, or anybody out there have questions in regards to the review section before we kind of jump over to talk about more parts of this?
I'm just looking in the chat to see if there's any questions.
Yeah, I haven't seen any pop up yet.
Nothing.
So, but
Yeah, no worries. No, let's dive into the chat, website chat.
all right, perfect. Because yeah, like I know that's a big one. A lot of companies are using it, but a lot of times it's still like an actual human, on the other end,
Yep.
or it's so AI that you're just like, oh, I really don't want to talk to an AI bot, right? Like I wanted to talk to somebody who's human. So, like, what about the websites? Like everybody's got the chat bots. So, what makes like yours different? Like, what are you doing to help make yours stand out? And again, the big push here for what I'm doing, why you're on this webinar, is to really try to get people to come work with you. But like, what are some things that you do, to make yours stand out and be different?
Yeah. So most companies just one-click install a generic chat, right? They've got like a customer support chat that's tied to a knowledge base, and that's it. And that's what they run, and nobody's really owning it, paying attention to it, or anything like that, right? Um, And so it just adds more frustration to the process than anything. A few months back, I did a presentation on building AI employees, right? And these are
Mhm.
these are employees that are given a job description. They're trained on your brand voice, your standards, all that type of stuff, right? So they look, sound, and talk exactly the way they should for your voice. Most chatbot companies don't do that. They don't pay attention to those finer details. Um, I do because I have a marketing background, and so messaging, marketing, brand, like all that stuff is like ingrained into my brain. And so whenever we build these things out, I'm always thinking about, okay, well, does it sound the way you want it to sound? Is it responding the way you sound? Plus, when you build those bots the right way, you can actually give them a backstory, and it makes them feel more human, right? Less robotic. And that's at the end of the day, we want to talk with something that mirrors us, that feels human, even if we don't know it is human. We want it to
Yeah.
fool us, right? So that's the foundation of everything, and you build them based off the roles you need. And most website chats need to have just a general FAQ chat. You need to have a sales chat, right? And then usually you need to have like an executive assistant chat that can help route and direct accordingly. So the great things about these AI chats is, I say this all the time, AI today is the dumbest it will ever be. So your chatbots will just get better and better and better and better over time. But the main benefits of them are they're able to capture more leads for you, right? Sometimes, like if I'm your customer, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Mhm.
I don't want to. I'm an introvert. I don't want to get on the phone. I just want to find out answers really, really quick, right? And so I just want to talk to a chatbot most of the time. All the chatbots we build out will capture a name and an email or a name and a phone number, at least some sort of contact info, and validate it as well, right then and there. So if we get junk stuff, it's like, sorry, that's like this isn't a real one. Can you give us a real one?
Yeah.
And that way we're able to capture that lead. Um, we also Chatbots also are great at answering questions. Like most of the time, people are reaching out to a company because there's missing information. So like if I'm calling a plumbing company or something like that, it's because I can't find the information on their website, and I just want to know as I'm doing my research if you can do the thing I need you to do, right? I don't want to talk to anybody yet, and so that allows you to then gather information about what people are actually looking for, so that you can update your content, your chatbot, your website, everything like that with the questions people are asking. The reason we want to answer those questions quickly is because if I don't get the answer as a customer that I want, I'm going down my checklist, right? Like I've got Google Maps open and I'm just going to the next one, and the next one, the next one, the next one, right? And the
Yeah.
first person to actually answer my question and get back to me is usually the one that's going to get my business, right? So that's the other benefit, is speed to lead, right? If you're able to respond to those chat inquiries quickly, then great. Chat, we also integrate it via automations and workflows, can then do a bunch of other stuff. Like we can have it not only capture their information, answer their questions, but we can also then have it do an outbound call to that individual later on, and then connect that with a human, or do a warm transfer to a human, which is excellent. So like imagine if you're an HVAC company or something like that, and somebody's trying to find out what the cost of furnace installation is going to be. Once the bot's qualified it can pass it over to your like your HVAC technician, or if you've got an office gal who handles that type of stuff, to then go ahead and book the appointment to come out, things like that.
Yeah.
Or it can deliver up a payment link and saying, hey, if you want us to come out, go ahead and click this link, put your $50 deposit down, and we'll be out there right away, type of thing, right? So these little micro commitments that keep people locked into you versus bouncing to your competitor. Um, so that's like the other third thing, is it can dynamically actually select from some approved offers, coupons, discounts, or other things like that, and offer that up right then and there in the moment to keep that person on your site with you and committed to you, which is great. And so all of that then is tied into your CRM, those conversations, the history, all that is visible and available to the next available human who wants to dive in and see what's going on. And that's awesome. Like you've got clarity into that. So you're good. 24/7 sales rep never sleeps.
And that's, I mean, that's huge. When you, again, you're capturing the leads, you're getting the information, you're getting some snippet of something, right? And then the
Yep.
fact that they're able to create and do more. And again, just kind of rolling back to even the previous question about the reviews, do you again have like a case study or somebody like that you can say like here was a payoff of somebody we worked with before that they used something like this, and what that benefit was again for them to be able to see that?
Yeah, we have, I don't have, can't share their name, but we have, there's a real estate client who booked 20 plus showings just from after hour leads. So people would come, see a listing and ask questions about it. And then the chat bot would say, great, let's go ahead and book a showing, right? And since the bot's connected to that individual's calendar, it was able then to say, great, let's go ahead and put you on these dates or things like that. And usually it was something like that that's kind of got like a route system to it where it's like, oh, I don't want to be driving all over the valley, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
spending an hour going from one showing to the next. Usually, like we'll do either a like it's just an intro call, and then you can stack all those intro calls, and then from the intro calls, that like real estate agent in this instance is able to then book appointments based off of where she's going to be in the valley, right? To save more time. So yeah, 30 to 50% fewer lost leads as a result of having just an after hours chat available to answer questions, book appointments, and go from there. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, all the more you can be doing without being doing anything is that sounds better to me. I've always been that type of person where it's like if I can work smarter, not harder, I'm gonna do it 100% of the time.
yeah,
So
exactly. That's the biggest opportunity is when you use AI and workflow automations, like you get leverage, right?
yeah.
And businesses, that's all it is it's about who can get the most leverage out of their business. And leverage turns into profit, profit then turns into the gasoline that can fuel growth and scale, right? And so,
Well, I think too, it's funny that we're talking about this because, like, on LinkedIn, I saw somebody make a post about AI, and it was kind of like people who use like AI showed their like an image of a brain, like they're not using their brain at all, and then it was like image of a brain firing, like this is a person that doesn't use AI, and it's like actually it's the opposite. Like if you're using AI and you're using it the right way, your brain's probably firing a much higher rate because you're not worrying about just the mundane menial tasks that it's just like I really shouldn't be wasting 20 minutes here 20 minutes there doing these things like
yeah,
chat
exactly.
chat gpt or whatever other AI system. It's like if that can save me 20-30 minutes to focus on something better, like this is a great tool. Like now my brain's firing even higher. So
Yeah, yeah, for real. I read that same study. I know what study you're talking about, and I was just like, well, it didn't talk about how like saving brain power for um higher tier tasks, right? Like I do not want to
yeah,
write a response to this email and waste an hour crafting the perfect response, right? I want to be thinking strategically about stuff and really putting my brain power on that and put an hour into that, right? Like that is going to get me outsized returns versus the same amount of calories burned for replying to an email, right? And so,
yes. So
and
that's
if,
awesome.
yeah, and AI doesn't have bad days. So I have bad days, and some emails I'll send, and I'll be like, "Oh, where's that undo send button? I better hit that quick," right? Like, and so,
I, I definitely feel you there because there are days where you're having the bad day and you start writing something and then you look at it and you're like, that's not going to come across the right way.
yeah,
Like I really need to like tone that down or tone this a different way because it's like I don't want it to come like yes, I'm frustrated, but I'm not frustrated at you, the client, or I'm not frustrated at what's going on. It's like I'm just frustrated. And so like the way I worded things just is not coming across right. So
yeah.
but
And
yeah,
if you're using Google Workspace, they've rolled out their equivalent of custom GPTs, which are called gems. And we'll have to do a webinar on that sometime. But I don't know about you, but I do not like the Gemini out of the box AI responses. There's so many things that drive me
yeah,
nuts. And I'm like, you have all this information in the email, like the context, the thread, the chain, and you spit out brainless email garbage. Like it drives me nuts sometimes.
yeah.
But I found that if you build out your own custom gems, and use those instead of the default Gemini, like you get much better results. So
Oh, excellent.
we'll have to dive into that another day.
We'll have you back on for sure because AI is definitely the wave that we need to be on. It's not the wave of the future; it's the wave of right now. We need to be on it, and
Yeah.
writing it to the best of our abilities for sure.
We should just we should just have a Friday weekly Friday call that's just Friday spelled Friday,
AI,
right? Yeah.
there
And
we
we
go.
just here's your tactical tip for the week. Do this, build this type of thing,
That's
right?
yeah.
And so
That's awesome. I love it. So, well, again, everybody, please feel free to jump in if you have AI related questions, even if it's not about what we're talking about here. Definitely jump in. Pete is an expert. I think last time you were on too, Pete, I wanted to make sure that I told people that you are a real person. This isn't an AI chatbot that we're talking to right now. Even though Pete is probably good enough that it could be a chatbot that we're talking to right now. I don't know. Uh,
oh, video
so
AI needs like live video AI is still several years away from doing that, but it's getting there.
So yeah, throw in a question. Maybe try to throw the Pete AI off here. Let's see what happens. So Christopher's been using AI to help me with his branding and web design business. So
Excellent. Yeah, there's
and
so many
that's
things you can do there. Yeah.
yeah. I've been using AI to help with web building. I've never built a website in my life. Those of you that are on the new financial scorecard, that was me and AI building that together. So yeah, lots of cool stuff that AI can do. So feel
Yeah.
free, everybody, jump in, add your chats, get your questions answered here as well as we're going through this. And so, one of the things that we were just talking about, and you had mentioned like AI voice or calls or things like that. In the last part of our discussion. And so like missed calls, even just like calls that could be handled differently can
Yep.
really hurt a business. And so just kind of talk about that. Like how can AI fix like even the phone call process, the phone system process, just everything that goes on with that as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just like chat, AI powered phone allows you to have people call in and one, we can qualify individuals. So we can have like that replaces a setter job, right? So
Yeah.
however much you pay to have a setter review inbound calls, qualify people, and then book appointments, we can now have AI do the same thing where it can actually ask questions, it can actually do probing questions, it can take all of that, and then that transcript gets attached to your notes in the CRM. But it can book appointments from that. It can also do outbound calls. So my brother, of all people, called me last night on his way home from work and was so excited because they just implemented an outbound AI agent, said like calling platform, and it is going to take all these leads they get and do the outbound calling to those leads who've requested a callback, which you have to do for A2P compliance and all these other government
Yeah.
regulations that, are in place now. But he's super excited because these leads aren't being contacted anyway. Their current team of setters are just not doing their job. And it's doing it in Spanish. So it's calling all of these leads in Spanish and having conversations in Spanish and then translating that into English and putting it into their CRM so they have details. So I'm excited to see what his results are for that because he picked a different tool than we use. But yeah, you can capture more leads. You can capture the attention of people, like I said, with chat. If you can't answer my question, I'm moving on to the competitor. And you're able to actually have different AI employee personalities be the voice and tone behind that call. And they can overcome objections. They can be trained on sales methodologies, be it Sandler or Jeremy Miners, whatever his is, seventh level, I think is what it's called. Like, and we can actually have them operate and act in that sales like methodology and ask questions that way, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Um, I've got a client who they actually, so talking about branding, they do these research interviews with internal and external stakeholders, and they used voice AI to actually build out an interview bot. And so I help them guide them through the process. But now what they do is they can send out that interview bot to, instead of doing only 20 interviews, they can do 200 interviews across a large company, which increases their data set. And then they're able to take all that information and really start to break down those transcripts and figure out what's the brand messaging unlock that they need to do to help get that company's brand messaging cleaned up and
Yeah.
focused, right? So yeah, there's a lot of really cool things we can do with AI voice. The main thing we focus on is just capturing missed calls and turning those missed calls into opportunities, sales opportunities, right? So if somebody calls at 3 in the morning saying, "Hey, my, you know, my water line is broken," or "I'm just watching late night TV and I had the thought and saw that you guys answer phone calls 24/7." So it can call and field those phone calls and then turn those into appointments, tasks, or action items, which is great, right?
Yeah.
And if I got a call at 3 a.m., I'd be pretty groggy and cranky. Not your voice AI. It's happy and chipper and excited to talk to whoever's on the other end of that, right? And make sure that they feel cared for, welcomed, and whatnot. And voice AI has gotten so good now that it has all the imperfections of human conversation as well, which makes it feel better, right? Whereas if you guys remember version one of Siri was very robotic and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk to voice AI, like it has the half chuckles, the pauses, the ums, the things like that built into it so that it feels very natural. And so people feel more comfortable talking to it, which is excellent. So,
That's awesome. And we did have a question pop up here from Sarah. She's been working to start a new business and would like to incorporate AI, but does not know where to start. So, how can I learn to use products like ChatGPT or Notion to help me build my business before I even get to the point of needing help with reviews or web chat? Do you
yeah,
have any
Sarah, one of the things that we've been doing is for all the referrals that come over from Wealth Factory, we sit down and chat with them for 30 to 60 minutes. It's not a sales conversation. It's just tell me about your business. And then I give you essentially a 12-month AI roadmap. So based on what you told me, here's 12 things I would implement in your business over the next year to help you execute AI into your business. And so a lot of those include like, here's how you learn it, here's what you do, here's the value of it, all that type of stuff. And so we'll share my scheduling link, but you can just book on a call with me and I'll walk you through that. I think we've done about 50 or so. And so I most of the I haven't had anybody complain yet, but everybody seems to be pretty happy with the roadmap. They actually get like you get a full on 12-month designed roadmap that you can look at, and it tells you what to do, how to do it, and what tools to leverage as well.
And I will say you haven't gotten any complaints on our side of things because all the clients that I've ever talked to, they're like that. The call I had with Pete was phenomenal. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Good. Good.
so
Good. I'm
yeah,
glad to hear.
so yeah, Sarah, get that call booked again through your coach, or people share his scheduling link here as well, so you can do that, and then you can just let your coach know that you've made that connection. So. Oh, Christopher, yeah, great. Definitely get on with Pete. That would be awesome. So yeah, everybody feel free to make sure you're taking advantage of that. Again, Pete is a great mind, and he's super helpful. He listens. He takes into account what your business is. It's not just a general like, oh yeah, here's the general template for a doctor, the same as the HVAC company, the same as the real estate agent. Like, he's helping you out and making sure that you guys can be effective as well. So
Yeah, I'll just drop that link real quick right now so
yeah,
you guys can feel free to use it, book it, go from there. Um, but yeah, an example of where voice AI really has helped out, especially with the local businesses. There's a plumber in Montreal in Canada, little Canada, and they had 74 calls that were handled by voice AI, and the AI qualified them, and 65% of those calls actually converted into service clients. And those are, when you're a tradesperson, for example, like you're busy working and you can't answer the call all the time. So it's good to have somebody else, an AI, answer calls and book appointments, or at least capture the information so that somebody can follow up and try and capture that appointment, right? So it pays for itself in and of it there, which is the promise with all of these, right? Like you put them into
yeah.
place and they'll pay for themselves by lunch. So
Well, I was going to say 65% converted into paying service. That's a good, really good number for
yeah,
sales. Like, I mean, like I've been looking into that as well. Like, a lot of the conversions, or like what is the process? Are they talking with a setter first before a closer, or what is the process? And it's like, well, if they're going through the setter and then going to a closer and doing this other thing, then your closing percentage should be 70%. But it's like if you're just talking to a closer and they're just starting there, like the number's like 30%. So it's like that right there, just being able to convert 65, like that's right at the top end of super qualified people that are coming in.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So
Yeah. Cool.
that's great to hear. Well, I know we've got a handful more minutes. So maybe I know we had a few additional questions that we could jump into, but I also know you had maybe talked about maybe like just giving us a sneak peek or a showing of something that you could build and
Yeah.
build along. Do we want to do that? I mean, or do you want me to keep kind of going? What are your thoughts there, Pete? Or maybe somebody from the chat, if you guys want to jump in and let us know too. We can keep going and do some more questions with Pete, or if 10 minutes or so is enough for you to kind of show us a little bit, then maybe we want to do something like that.
Yeah. It looks like we've got time. I've got one more bonus system that I wasn't going to talk about, but we've got time, so we can talk about it if you
Okay.
want. And that's the AI lead nurture and re-engagement system. So what this is you have, so just like reviews, you have this list of past clients. A lot of businesses will get leads, and then because sales reps typically statistically only follow up 3 times before they stop, you,
Mhm.
a lot of these people, like, they became leads and they just forgot, got busy, whatever it is, or it just wasn't the right time or place, whatever it is. You take that entire list of zombie leads or dead leads, right? And then what we'll do is we'll run those through an AI powered reactivation campaign. And so we'll use an AI agent to communicate to that individual. It could be through text, it could be through Facebook Messenger, it could be whatever it is. We usually put an offer in front of them saying, hey, we got a couple of, you know, vouchers for this, or we're doing BOGO for this, or things like that. Would you be interested? And then the AI handles that conversation back and forth. And when people say, yeah, I would love that, we can then have it either A, book an appointment, B, serve up a link to buy, or D, like flag that individual, create a task for somebody to call them and handle types of things. The great thing is that AI is connected to your calendar system. And so, for example, like we did this with a massage clinic here. They had a list of 2,000 leads, and of that, they were able to reactivate, I think it was like $1,600 worth in a week for them, which is a ton of massages, like, right?
Yeah.
And but since the AI is connected to a calendar, like if people wanted to reschedule or if people wanted to do something like that, it's able to actually do that for them as well, um, which is awesome, right? So doing that type of that reactivation campaign is essentially mining gold from poop, more or less, right? And I've had, every time I've done this, we've had people, it pays for itself and then some over and over again. Um, but yeah, so we take that, like that's the main one, the reactivation campaign. But then there's all sorts of other nurture campaigns that businesses need to have in place. There's cancellation campaigns. So when people cancel, you want to build out an automated sequence of email and SMS and or whatever channel it is, so that it will follow up with them to see if we can get them back on the calendar, right? Some people cancel just because they have a conflict and they don't have time to reschedule. And so
Yeah.
that's super helpful. Your long-term nurture sequence, you need to have one of those in place as well. That will constantly keep you top of mind, right? Like I said earlier, nobody's thinking about your business. Nobody is thinking about it, especially if you're, service-based business or an agency or something like that, or a coach. Like nobody's paying attention to you. And then via email and other things like that, like you momentarily show up on their radar and then disappear again. And so the more frequently you're able to actually have those little blips on their radar, the more you work your way into their brain and become the go-to brand for whatever it is you do,
Yeah.
right? Reactivation is one we talked about. Referral campaigns, right? Most businesses would get referrals if they asked for them, but they're too afraid to. So let's just eliminate that that barrier to asking and let somebody else do it. So let's have an AI bot or just an email automation campaign do that for you. And then templates, your reps need templates as well. And so building out templates for your sales team makes sure that everybody can communicate on the same page. In our system, when we turn on AI Assist, when they have an email template or a chat window open, it'll actually show them a recommended ways to actually respond to what's going on in the chat thread or the email thread, which saves a lot of time and helps them not have to think hard about stuff, right? And then we talked about review campaigns. If you're in the business of sending proposals, like you need to have automated, persistent, targeted follow-ups for proposals, right? If you don't present your proposal, if you have to like submit it for RFP or things like that, that's a lot of time wasted in just manual, hey, did you get my proposal? And so you can
Yeah.
engineer those based off of your favorite sales methodology. So we create an AI employee that represents that sales methodology and then run all your emails through that so that it's in the right tone, voice, and follow-up sequence, right? And then specialists, right? We used AI to build out um, our promo plans and campaigns, and then have it help write out what those emails and SMS blasts should be. And then we build those out, schedule them, and send them, right? And go from there. So um, one example, another example we had is we had a Earthwave Renewables. They were a solar company in Georgia, and they had a small list of 400 leads of solar leads people had requested to get a quote. They hadn't touched them, and we ran them through our database reactivation campaign, and they closed 2 new jobs from that out of nowhere. So they paid 2 grand for that service, and they made 30,000, and so it was a great investment for them to do
Yeah.
that type of thing. So
Sounds
so
like a
yeah,
great ROI right there.
yeah. And these aren't shiny objects, right? Like these are all fundamental stuff. Like I'm not showing anything that's really crazy here or anything that you'd write your grandma about. But but still you put these into place and everybody knows it's the boring stuff in a business done consistently over time that builds a business that grows and scales, right? And
Yeah.
so that's what I consider these are the boring fundamental systems you need to have in place. And if you do, then it makes things a lot easier. I mean, business is never easy, but anything you can do to inject some leverage and make it easier, why not? Especially if it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. So,
Definitely.
yeah,
Well, and again, like the three tools originally that you were going to talk about, I was thinking like, man, these are all great, but then you added the bonus tool in there, so four. Again, all of these are great tools that we need to add to our tool belts because again, I really AI is not something that's just going to disappear tomorrow. This isn't just like the hot button topic for today that people 6 years from now are going to be like, yeah, you guys were, that was dumb. I think this all this is doing is just getting better and better and better, and the sooner you can get on it and be on top of it and working through it and really start to, I just say befriend it. It's not here to
yeah,
replace us. It's not here to take us over or anything like that. It's like we need to be friends with it because it can make our lives easier. And again, if we can make our lives easier, we can free up our own time. I mean, you talked about just money being made, but think about all the time that saved these companies and these people that were utilizing this as well. Like they didn't even have to think about this. It was just operating in the back end and scalability of a business. This makes scalability so much easier because there's systems in place and it just makes it better. So I think
yeah,
all of this is great. Again, get on with Pete, schedule your time with Pete. Again, it's fun to just talk to Pete too. If anything else, you're going to learn some great things and you're going to have some fun doing it. So definitely schedule with Pete. So yeah, we've got, handful of minutes left here, Pete. I don't know what your time looks like, what we want to do or what we can wrap up with here, but again, we want to be mindful and respectful of your time as well. So we don't want to over leverage that. And I know we can always bring you back for more chats with us here. We love having you on. So let's see. Looks like you just did it to
yeah.
the
I just dropped
host
it.
and panelists, though. Let me
Oh,
let me drop that. I'll change it over here and make it to
everyone. Here we go.
everyone. There we go.
Awesome.
Sorry that Zoom needs to get better at this. Like it lets the hosts and panelists just talk to each other on the backside, and we never talk to each other through text because we're talking through here, and
Yeah.
so it should just go to everyone, But yeah, so there's that link, everybody, to make sure you can schedule with them. And again, if you don't get it, or if you're watching this, as a replay, make sure you just talk to your coach. Your coach can get you the invite with the calendar link over to Pete as well. We definitely want to make sure you're still scheduling with your coach. Again, that's the great thing. Your coach won't be AI. You'll still get to have that personal touch with your coach. I'm still the client success manager here. I love AI because it's helping me. It's helping our team out just as much as possible with all of the other little tools that we need and spots. And Pete's been a big help for that and helping us here at Well Factory just to be able to make things better here for our clients and for our team. So definitely appreciative of Pete's time. So yeah, with that, I know we're kind of right on our time, but Pete, I don't know what your time looks like or if you want to do anything more
Yeah,
here.
I got 15 minutes more
All
until I
right.
need to go and do my next appointment. So if anybody's got questions, well, I can answer questions. If you want me to go through the software that we use to implement a lot of things, I can showcase like the reviews section and things like that. Um, it's hard to demo voice AI stuff like that with because they have to make the phone call.
Mm,
But yeah, I could do that. So it's
yeah.
up to the participants. What do they want?
I mean, let's say if you're good with 5 more minutes, if you don't mind, just if we can take a look, just real quick, just kind of at that process. I think that would just be
Yeah,
super helpful for people to really, again, get on board with maybe wanting to get in connection with you and have those talks and see what you can offer and do. I think that would be awesome. So
yeah. Cool. Well, I'll share my screen and I'll go through the reviews AI section first,
awesome.
because we talked about that. So uh, so here is one of many facets of our software that we implement into companies. But reviews AI is great. So when you log in as a business owner, you've got a dashboard and you can see what the summary recap is. AI reviews all of the reviews you have and then comes up with this, hey, here's what people are saying about you, right? And then it gives you like, here's your reviews received, what's the sentiment, average rating. You can set goals for invites that you want to send out, what your trends are over time, snippets, and things like that. You can request reviews out of here, so we can find people in the CRM, select them, and send reviews. You can look at what all the reviews are, and you can see these are the responses that are automatically being generated by Claire Flair, right? She's one of the personalities, and then Taylor Saylor is another one, right? And Axel Drizzle. Thing is, like, this is only visible to me on this. You don't see it on your side. They just see exit loop replied, right? And, and and so you see there's these different personalities that are responding to keep things unique. You can build out widgets, you can connect your listings, and then here's where all the magic happens, right? So we're able to turn on what we want to have done. So some people don't want reviews AI to respond, so they can turn it off. Others want help, they want suggestions, and so you can manually go through and approve or change or edit and publish things, right? Or we just go full auto, because why not? And so you put that on and it automatically responds. You can see here are all of our agents we've built out. So for 3 stars and above, for all reviews, for 4 star, 2 star, things like that. Like we've got these different individuals and they have different tones associated with them to add variety, which is great. And you can go into each one of these and you can edit them and give them instructions on who they are, what they do, how they respond. So it gives you a lot of control. It's interesting, like I look at this and I just think, oh, this is what I would train an employee to do anyway. Like,
Yeah.
here's your SOP for how to respond to reviews. Here's how you're going to be professional, right? You're going to do this, right? And it's great. Like instead of having to hire somebody, I can have this aspect of my company be managed underneath somebody else, so I can get more for less and go from there. And then Google Business Profiles are critical. So we now have the ability to um, evaluate and analyze your GPP score, right? And recommend suggestions on what you can do to improve it, fix things, stuff like that. And as a result, it increases your visibility as well. Connect your social profiles, add those all in here. And then as you update this, it'll sync to your Google Business Profile as well, which is excellent. So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
so yeah,
And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll say, because again, just kind of going back, and this really, I promise, was not planned, everybody. But when I started with Wealth Factory, it was kind of, I got to go in and learn about this part of things. Similar companies that do not even all of this, they do parts of what Pete's showing you here. They're thousands of dollars a year for something like this too. So I just wanted to kind of share that from my own personal perspective, as far as like what you're seeing here and what you're getting, as well as, the other companies are great. They do a lot of the same things, but what you're seeing here, like, and then Pete's able to do additional things on top of just the reviews. Like, that's just review stuff, that's all they would do and handle. And so I'm just going to point that out, like, just from like my own personal experiences, as far as like what I've seen and what I've witnessed, and then this, like, this is definitely great, because again, you have those different voices as well. The other companies, it was just like, it's one voice, like, three different responses, and they just kind of rotate through those three responses. Like, at some point they're going to figure out it's AI, right? Like, it's just the same response over and over and over again. This is so
Yeah.
cool, because again, like, it feels like it's a real person that responds to those reviews. And that's just awesome. That's a great feeling, especially from the person who left the review. Like, oh, look at that. They took the time to leave this great, perfect review, or response back to me. Like, you just feel like, oh, this person really cares, but it was AI in the back end and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's great. And the thing is, like, AI feels like around the time internet and search engines were a thing, right? Like, I hear a lot of
yeah,
people like back, because that's how old I am, right? Like, 41. I've lived through more once in a lifetime disasters and events than most people. That's the joy of our demographic. But at that time, people were talking about how website or like internet was a fad, or how search engines were a fad, or things like that were a fad. And then eventually it became, it's commonplace. Like, you can't even think about doing stuff. AI is definitely going to get there much, much faster in the next 2 to 3 years, I'm pretty sure. Um, and it's going to be one of those things where people's sentiment are going to change from, oh, it's AI, to, oh, thank heavens it's AI, right?
yeah,
Because there's going to be a level of perfection and quality and things that's associated with that, right? That you'll get every single time. Like, consistency is the best thing about artificial intelligence, is that it is consistent, and it's like brand messaging, right? If
yes,
if brand messaging is important to your business, like, and you want to make sure you're always on brand, AI will always be on brand if you give it the right guidelines and direction, right? Um, so with reviews, it's important that you're always on brand. Like, the one example I think of is like the Wendy's Twitter account is
oh yeah,
like famous for,
the best.
yeah, it is snarky as all get out, right? And if it wasn't, like, that's totally off brand. And so
Yeah,
it's that type of stuff that you've got to make sure um, is built into your business. And AI allows for that to be done so much easier. And that's a level of professionalism that people expect. And so, anyway,
yeah.
yeah,
Perfect. Well, hey, we appreciate you taking us into this. I think this is a huge part. I think it's going to be, that's a great uh cool to be able to show people like what you guys do and how it works. And again, make sure you're getting scheduled with Pete. Like he said, he offers that time to be able to speak with you, talk about what that roadmap looks like for you, where you're at, how he might be able to help with ExitLoop and everything as well. So Pete, again, we appreciate your time and we love having you on. I know we're probably going to have you back. I think it's like in a month or two again that we can talk about this, but we might have to turn this into just a monthly thing, because AI is moving so fast. We might just have to keep talking every
yeah,
month to keep on top of everything as well. So
I would love
um,
that. That'd be so much fun. Yeah,
so we appreciate you, everybody. Again, thanks for jumping on. Schedule with your coach. Make sure you have your next meeting. Schedule with Pete. We've got his meeting calendar in here. Click on that. Get that scheduled. Start talking with him. It's going to be great. You're going to learn a lot, and I think it'll be beneficial for those of you that are really just getting your business started, or you've been in business for many years, and it's like, I need to learn how to do this. this is a great opportunity, and Pete is fantastic. So we appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye.